Hello, and welcome to Rachel Stout Designs. Today we're going to be doing a pattern of mine called the Ladies Bifold Checkbook Wallet. The pattern is available for purchase on my Etsy shop, and I will leave a link in the description below for you. So, you've purchased your pattern. You have all of your pieces cut out, and we are going to begin, first of all, on the front pocket, snap closure, and main outside panel in this part one. So, if you go through, you will need the front pocket, the snap tab closure, and the front panel pocket. Now, if you pay special attention to this fabric, it is directional fabric, which is another reason why I decided to add the pocket on the front of this that covers up the part of the fabric that is upside down. You absolutely can cut it in the middle and turn it and piece it together. Just remember that you're going to have to add at least an extra 3/4 of an inch in the middle on each side to cover your seam allowances. But what I like to do is get it in half. Once you have it folded in half, you'll see that you have a correct print side and an upside down print side. The pocket is going to go on the upside down part. Okay, so the pocket is all one piece. Trim a little bit of this off. So pretty much what's going to happen is we're going to fold this pocket lengthwise, not widthwise. Once you folded it lengthwise, you're going to do either a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch seam. I kind of just decide while I'm sewing if I'm going to do a 1/4 or a 1/2. Either one will be fine for the top part of this. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this really quick, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, now I've just finished my seam, and I'm going to trim my thread. So once you have your seam sewn, we're going to go over to the iron, and we are going to open the seam up. Sometimes I can do it with just a hot finger. We're going to open it up, because what I like to do on this is stagger the seam. Once I open it up with the iron, the seam, you're going to turn it inside out just like a tube. Once you get all that out of there, I like to find perfect placement, and it looks like I want this. I want this because it says Paris, and I also got a France right here. So this is the placement that I've chosen. I'm going to go and I'm going to iron this, and I'm going to make sure that this seam down through here is open up all the way down while I'm ironing it. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll meet you back here. And then the next step after I iron it, I'm going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch across the top of this pocket. And then I'll meet you back here for the next step. Okay, so I've ironed my pocket. I've made sure that my seam is open all the way down, and now I'm going to measure on this front all the way across, and it's going to set probably right on the seam. Okay, it looks like I have a little bit too much on this side, so I'm going to trim it off first, and then you can pin it or you can clip it, and I find that clipping it's a little bit easier. It doesn't distort the fabric. So if you can see, this is the directional fabric that is going the wrong way. This is where we're going to put the front pocket on, not on the back, which has the Eiffel Towers very nice and pretty. So we're going to put it right as close as we can to the fold. And then this top should be right at 1 inch. And that's also a way where we can adjust it to make it straight if we need to. That looks about right. Now I'm going to pin this. I'm going to clip it before it shifts. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to open up this before I can sew a top stitch and a stitch that sews it to the main wallet. So open it up. You're going to stitch about 1/8 of an inch across. I like to do 2 stitches across at 1/8 and 1/4, just because this is a pocket that is going to be responsible for opening and closing the bag every time that it opens and closes. I like to have that little extra strength there on this pocket. So once you've done 1 or 2 lines, depending on what you want, we can go ahead and meet back here. Okay, so now that we have that done, I've only sewn across the bottom front part. I've not sewn any other place. So we're going to next deal with the snap tab, the tab that's going to hold the snaps for the closure. We're going to take right sides, put them together. We are going to start about 2 inches down, and we're going to go all the way around, and probably about 1/4 to just a little bit more stitch allowance. Alright, once we've done that, I will come back here and we'll see what we have. Okay, so once you have the seam sewed up, what we're going to do is take our pinking shears. If you don't have them, you can just notch the curve, but it's way easier to get everything pop back out when you turn it inside out if you have these shears. It also keeps the fabric from fraying. Now, the last part to this is to turn it inside out, or well, right side out actually. And once you do that, sometimes you need a little help from your friendly scissors. Alright, that looks like a good curve. We're going to turn these in, that little piece that we left open, and turn them in just like that and close clip them until we can get over to the iron to iron them. We're going to get everything back flat. Once it's flat, we're going to top stitch all the way around it. And then I'll meet you back here. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do after the top stitch, which is an 1/8 to 1/4 inch, depending on your prerogative, whatever you like. We're going to fold this in half, and we're going to notch it out so we can find the center. We are also going to do that with the non-pocket side, which is the side that's facing right, of the main outside bag piece. So we're going to notch that out. Not the side with the pocket, the other side. And let me see. I think I like this side better. So the side that you want to the outside, that you want everybody to see, is going to go to the inside of the main bag. So we're going to notch those up. And then I'm going to clip it. And then I'm going to do a really quick basting stitch just to keep this in place. And then we're going to finish the outer bag assembly by putting snaps in. And then we will be able to move on to part 2. Okay, now we'll be putting in the snaps. Starting with the actual front pocket piece first. We are going to do our measurements, and it's 4.5 inches over, and it is the first one is 1 1/4 inch up. So we're going to go to 1 1/4, and then we're going to go 4.5, and we're going to put a little dot. Then we're going to go up to 2 1/4 inches. And we're going to keep our measurement of 4.5 inches. We're going to put a dot. So once again, it's 1 1/4 inches up from the fold. Now, if you need to, you can fold it, but it's 1 1/4 inches. And then we're going to measure 4.5 inches. And again, that comes right where I'm marked. And then we're going to go to 2 1/4 inches, and we're still going to stay with our 4.5 inches over. And that is right where I'm marked. Okay. Now, for the pocket, for the tab, it's a little bit different. I like to fold to get my center, so I know where the center is. Depending on how you sew it, it can vary from the width size. So when I fold it, I know that that's the center, and we are going to measure 3/4 of an inch up, and we're also going to center 3/4 of an inch and center. Then we're going to go to 1 3/4 of an inch. And we're going to center there. Now, there's one. Now, if I go and I make sure that my first hole lines up with my first hole here, and my second hole lines up with my second hole here. Those two, they do indeed line up, so I can go ahead and put my snaps in. And I'll start with this. You could also use a magnetic snap. You would just use the bottommost measurement for each one if you wanted to do a magnetic snap on this. Now, And the male parts go on the tab. The female parts go on the pocket. Okay. Alright, I will let you finish up with your front pockets as I do, and I will see you on part 2 when we do the card slots, the ID holder, and the interior of the wallet. See you next time.